waving at the referee to come stop the fight. Bow, come stop the fight. Bow, come stop the fight. Am I lying, doggy?
Since Bronny James was picked for the NBA and entered the Lakers, it has been pure chaos consistently surfacing. Yet, this drama is unique. Rumor is tempers flared up inside the locker room, and Bronny was isolated by his own squad. And the instant LeBron heard this, he shifted from pop to menace. Real fast, we have got the insights right here. Let us parse it. Out. The Summer League conflict. The pressure between Bronny James and his Lakers colleagues stems back to the 2024 NBA Summer League, where the root of the dispute was aggravation regarding what athletes labeled as elite privilege that caused a split inside the lineup. Bronny James was chosen 55th overall in the 2024 NBA draft after finishing a rookie campaign at USC where he managed 4.8 points on 36.6%, shooting through 25 games. He had skipped the first 8 games of that college schedule after enduring cardiac arrest, and most mock boards had him staying unpicked completely. His acquisition by the Lakers was instantly contentious, with scouts and pundits wondering whether his skills warranted an NBA lineup seat or whether his heavy last name was pulling the major weight. In Summer League, Bronny managed mere 4.3 points on 22.6% shooting from the floor in his first 4 bouts, while going 0 for 15 from the three-point arc during that span. The Lakers went 0-5 to begin the competition, and the mixture of weak squad execution and doubts regarding lineup assembly built an environment of irritation. Despite those figures, Bronny garnered the second highest minutes on the unit, posting 25.1 per night, with only first-round select Dalton Knecht playing more. According to rumors, the coverage Bronny commanded was quite aggravating for his colleagues. And a Lakers contact told the press that the supposed royal privilege sparked tension within the group that impacted their capacity to perform. Stephen A. Smith made it plain where he sat on the issue, claiming that everybody knows the true reason Bronny is in the association.
We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad.
One Summer League baller gave a more honest report stating Bronny was handled as someone special, not like all of us. And that is very irking, as we did not sense any synergy in this squad of athletes. The baller proceeded by detailing that he wound up being quite agitated because he was rarely put in the right position in sets and game. Schemes were crafted exclusively for Bronny to flaunt his talents and thrive at the cost of everybody else. The athlete noted that if you speak to any other baller on the California Classic or Summer League lineup, most would speak the same truth about the prioritized handling they observed. Another voice specified that he held nothing against Bronny personally, but claimed Bronny is not prepped for all this, and he ain't prepped for the NBA. In my judgment, this viewpoint was held by numerous athletes who sensed their own shots at earning an NBA contract were being jeopardized by the franchise's dedication to grooming LeBron's kid, irrespective of his production. Stephen A. Smith mirrored this perspective, admitting that opening night was a unique instant, but asking whether proceeding to grant Bronny NBA playing time made any logic considering what they were watching on the floor.
The first game of the season, opening night, the Griffeys in attendance, father-son duo playing in an NBA game for the first time, an absolutely positively wonderful story. And then reality sets in. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong.
Lakers top boss Jeanie Buss rejected those points as envy from non-contract athletes, implying that the grievances stemmed from guys who were not going to crack the squad regardless of Bronny's status and were merely hunting for someone to fault for their own failures. Lead coach JJ Redick frequently pointed to Bronny as pilot subject number 1 for the Lakers' fresh athlete improvement system, and the franchise was resolute to grant him the runs he required to evolve into what they thought was a two-way guard. This method was clear in Summer League, where Bronny obtained steady playing time even as his shooting efficiencies stayed low and the unit continued to drop matches. The judgment of the Lakers' strategy expanded past the locker room and into sports news, where analysts challenged the sense of favoring one athlete's progression over winning. And that is what we are going to discuss. Yo, man. Okay, see, can we all just get to the realization that Bronny James cannot? It ain't high enough to be on the Lakers. Can we just all simply get to the realization, pal? Bronny did snap back in his last 2 Summer League showings, dropping 25 points with 3 dimes while shooting. 10 of 21, including 3 of 8 from deep before he was yanked from the Lakers' Summer League closer. These outings provided a look at what Bronny might equal, yet they did squat to silence the skeptics who contended that a couple solid outings didn't scrub away a month of sloppy performance. That early Summer League friction established the baseline for what turned into a relentless argument regarding Bronny's spot on the squad and if he actually earned his keep
on the roster and whether he deserved to be there.
You have people like Richard Jefferson and Tim Legler talking about Bronny has everything. All he needs to do is just, I'm like, really? All he needs to do is just work on 1 or 2 things. Really?
Doubts regarding if Bronny fit in only grew louder once the real game started. Then a specific incident in particular perfectly encapsulated the stress exploding all over the internet sports landscape. Redick's eruption regarding the coaching dynamic. If one solitary second defined the pressure encircling Bronny James during the 2025-2026 campaign, it happened on November 18, 2025, facing the Milwaukee Bucks at Fiserv Forum, which got looped millions of times on social feeds. LA took it 119-95 that evening, with Luka Doncic adding heavily to the scoring load and guiding the squad to a solid win. However, that matchup also highlighted issues with Bronny fitting into the NBA lineup that had been brewing underneath the radar for quite some time. Bronny, then 21 and in his sophomore pro year, got the nod for his second ever start against Milwaukee. That chance came as the Lakers tried assessing young prospects and constructing depth while managing various injuries, and roster shifts that compelled Redick to tinker with various personnel groups. That Bucks contest was meant to be Bronny's opportunity to show he deserved minutes, but rather it turned into a grim warning regarding what occurs when a rookie's belief crumbles under the brightest lights. Early during the opening, and frame Bronny ended up in prime spots around the arc with unobstructed views of the rim. On 2 distinct times, he caught dishes setting him up for wide-open triples that every pro baller must be ready to hit. Rather than firing away, Bronny froze and chose to kick the rock back out, killing the attack's rhythm and burning possessions. Doncic was filmed throwing his hands up in anger over the wasted scoring opportunities, clearly irritated that his partner declined to fire when, standing totally unguarded, Milwaukee defended Bronny as if he was zero danger, practically begging him to score.
Well, he gets in the game, and the dude is literally scared to shoot, right? The Bucks were leaving him wide open. They basically were treating this dude like Russell Westbrook, like Ben Simmons, folks. They were just daring him to shoot.
Redick's reaction was instant and raw, arriving from the bench during a sequence snagged by TV. Lenses and Fast became a sensation on all athletic sites. After that second moment of doubt, Redick yanked Bronny after merely 4 minutes of action in the first half, a move sending a stark signal regarding what the manager demanded from his guys. Bronny sat on the pine until the third quarter and clocked roughly 10 minutes overall in the match, trying just 2 attempts during that whole stretch. The tension between the boss and the athlete hit a fever pitch that every viewer could witness.
So JJ Redick, ladies and gentlemen, he was literally yelling at Bronny James on the sidelines to shoot the ball, right? It got so bad, folks, that he started to cuss Bronny James out on the sideline. So I'm gonna put a picture of the graphic on the screen so you guys can see what JJ Redick told Bronny. Told him pretty much to shoot basketball.
That explosion linked back to larger issues in Bronny's growth that had been worrying. Since the summer sessions, Redick has steadily stressed responsibility and shooting belief in his press, conferences and drills, seeing indecision as a wall to progress for rookies that needs tackling head on. This method fits his managerial style. Taken from his 15-year playing days where he was famous for his sniper skills and his readiness to fire away no matter the circumstance, Redick had constructed his whole legacy on being a marksman who never skipped a clear shot, and seeing Bronny do the total reverse obviously strained his nerves. Bronny managed the event like a pro in the days after the match. Talking to the media, he recognized Redick's goal, saying the boss was driving him to be a stronger scorer and to seize clear chances instead of passing to partners. Bronny highlighted his attention on daily growth, stating, "If the rock hits my hands and I'm free, I have to let it fly." This attitude brought return soon after when Bronny got sent to the South Bay squad in the G League for extra runs far from the big league glare. During a stellar showing versus the Santa Cruz Warriors on November 22nd, 2025, he Dropped 15 points on a clean 5 of 10 clip, handed out 8 dimes, snatched 4 boards, and chipped in 3. Thefts in a 115-95 victory that showed growth in the specific zone Redick had stressed: aggression and output. JJ Redick talked following a later defeat to the Sixers regarding his choice to run Bronny and where it all fell apart that evening.
Just felt like on a back-to-back, just him giving us energy, I think, was the goal. I maybe put him in a tough spot, flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game and Philly, all that stuff. It's, he didn't play well, but he's been playing great, in the Stay Ready games, and he's been playing great in the G.
Looking at the big picture, that drama failed to shake Los Angeles' rhythm, keeping their very solid opening regarding the campaign with 10 victories through their first 14 matchups. Yet that explosion ignited broader debates concerning how leadership weighs hard discipline against squad spirit, particularly for heavily watched young stars like Bronny, who bear extra pressure. Interestingly, 0 rumors surfaced of anger from LeBron James or older pros, suggesting that the group saw it as useful, not disrespectful, while Redick was driving Bronny on the hardwood with an intensity that shocked several onlookers. The big doubt lingered. How was LeBron managing seeing his own blood fight through those very public failures? LeBron's reaction and their family dynamic. LeBron James really has kept a rock-solid and calculated media posture concerning his boys' restricted court minutes and some periodic benchings in the 25-26 campaign, stressing Bronny's gain via the real path of any young athlete's journey instead of voicing irritation or ordering adjustments from the training crew. This strategy simply fits with LeBron's known code, let Bronny cut his own lane without his father's meddling, causing extra headaches. In a December 30th 25 chat, LeBron swore again that he has never been mixed up with Bronny or Bryce's trainers, claiming he dodges calling them and rather pushes them to simply teach my boy without his voice fogging their view. When quizzed on seeing Bronny's real progress, LeBron shared his outlook on his kid's evolution with some obvious deep dignity ringing in his own tone.
How's that chapter been satisfying, actually seeing the tangible growth?
Seeing his growth? It's been great to see and to watch. And he's still young. Obviously just turned 21 not too long ago, and he's still learning and, still getting better with each and every rep.
Openly, LeBron's feedback has been mostly upbeat and fatherly, centering on the path rather than the end goal. After Bronny's return from that heart scare during USC days and into his pro run, James stated in a March 23rd talk that he had seen solid gains in Bronny's play that most outsiders might not recognize. He said, "I've seen he has gotten better from the moment he made his first game back after the health scare with USC to the minute the other evening. That heart stoppage Bronny endured in July 23 during a USC drill added a heavy emotional layer to LeBron's view that simply cannot be ignored." For a dad who almost buried his boy, seeing Bronny just play ball at any rank represents something way more vital than stats or court time could ever show, even as Bronny's time shifted in the 25-26 run, clocking about 5 to 7 minutes in bit parts during the Lakers' drive for playoff spots. LeBron really has dodged direct heat on the coaching crew or front desk. In a November 19th 25 locker chat, he gave a real yet light take on Bronny's work, chuckling as he called it awesome to just witness while noting Bronny's age and steady learning path. LeBron kept talking Bronny's housing setup and how their bond has changed now that Bronny has his own spot and is building independence.
I think he's enjoying the process. I think you're going to obviously ask him, more than me. He's not a resident anymore, so we don't talk as much. He has his own place, so I can't just. But he's great. He's great.
Concerning Pine Time, specific cases like Bronny's brief 1-minute cameo in that January 8th 26. Defeat to the San Antonio Spurs pulled no loud public feedback from LeBron, despite the noise such huge calls bring. Word from squad insiders hints LeBron was sitting that match himself, and while the voices guessed about locker talks, no real quotes from LeBron showed anger or fault pointed at Redick for the choice. Bronny himself hit rumors in a July 3rd 25 talk, sharing that LeBron tells him to mute outside static about squad paths and possible swaps that always spin around us. He said, "We do not really chat about that much, but I guess when junk like that pops up, he just tells me to not sweat about it, not even pay attention to it." On his show, Mind the Game with JJ Redick, LeBron spoke in depth about seeing Bronny go through the draft grind and what it meant to him as a dad, watching his boy's dream come alive.
As a parent, to be able to be, there to witness a child of yours start to live out a dream of theirs is something Bronny has always talked about, and he's, said, we asked him plenty of times, like, what is your end goal? And his end goal is to be in the NBA. And to see him almost at that moment, for a parent is something that you could just be in awe of, because, that's what you want your kids to be able to live out their, you want your kids to be able to live out their dreams.
LeBron also covered how Bronny has managed the insane pressure that comes with being his very own blood, in ways that even LeBron himself could not have handled at that age, given the different news world.
It's definitely not his dad, and I'm not him. I wouldn't be able to handle the scrutiny and all the things that he got going on, at his age and at his level, and with social media. I didn't have social media to deal with when I came in at 18. I did have a lot of scrutiny. I did have a lot of things that was put on my shoulders, but I didn't have, every single day around the clock news coverage, sports shows, things of talking about this particular person every single day.
James's documented track record regarding internal franchise maneuvers feels significantly more understated concerning Bronny compared to his heavy hand engaging directly with different front office directions across his tenure. He is notorious for demanding specific personnel shifts back in the old days, yet regarding his bloodline, he pledged a strict hands-off approach publicly. On an October 1st of 2025 socialite update concerning his heritage, James mentioned the prospect of balling alongside both boys, though he positioned it like a private landmark instead of some mandate for court minutes the franchise must strictly honor. Although James has kept a stoic face amidst the microscope the doubts regarding how his junior actually landed on, the Los Angeles squad have never faded and persist in stoking arguments. The favoritism charges. The drafting of James Jr. by Los Angeles ignited broad claims of privilege powered by his father's pull, as skeptics claim that the kid was not viewed as a viable second-round prospect by most neutral draft boards or analysis files that ranked athletes relying strictly on their abilities. Core to those accusations is the part played by James's rep Rich Paul from Clutch, who exercised major leverage throughout the selection phase, per ex-Golden State executive Bob Myers, speaking on the network's live selection coverage. Paul allegedly rang various league franchises amid the scouting period, advising them against picking him by, vowing the boy would chase contracts down under instead of joining their squad if they selected him. That move successfully scared rival clubs from grabbing him sooner, steering him to Los Angeles at number 55 where his dad waited. This ploy was unmatched in its audacity with a representative, virtually strong-arming clubs into skipping a prospect so that his desired landing spot could get the chance to draft him. Different talents in comparable board slots could only fantasize about possessing such potent advocacy operating within the shadows for their benefit. This scenario manufactured what observers labeled as a bundled agreement that zero rival franchises desired any piece of.
Bronny's coming with. They're not, it's going to be a package deal. So LeBron thinks, again, he's overplayed his hand here. Not only can I dupe some contender into taking my 55 mil, I'll get him to bring my bum son along with me too. Nobody wants this arrangement, so he's stuck in Lakerland here for the year.
Plus, James had stoked rumors seasons prior, claiming in 2022 that wherever Junior is, I go, suggesting he'd favor franchises picking his boy above different factors such as title, hopes, or chemistry. His visceral response to that selection and the subsequent 2-year contract extension, with Los Angeles solidified beliefs that the pick was a major reason for his stay. Fan anger grew, afterward with pundits and crowds calling it blatant favoritism that damaged the purity of the selection system. Ex-Lakers big man Kwame Brown ripped it as James using leverage to push a gifted chance on his child over the backs of more worthy athletes. Stephen A. Smith exposed the harsh truth regarding the kid's stats, asking how anybody might justify holding him in the lineup with metrics that bad.
Right now, Bronny James is averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. You know what people are saying. You know what they're going to do to this kid. In 13 games, he has played 44 minutes. He has scored 4 points. He is shooting 1 of 16 from the field, 0 for 7 from three-point range.
Fresh lineup choices into the coming season have fueled the noise as the rookie's scarce. Court time, constant development stints, and seen safety from cuts despite weak output have triggered fresh claims of bias that the franchise simply cannot seem to ditch. Backers of the decision argue that bias is wild across the league, at owner ranks, executive suites, and on benches where ties often count more than raw skill. The network's Wojnarowski and Stephen A. Smith stated the boys' draft slot as a safe late pick caused minimal damage to the team's competitive chances. The pundit made clear he was not blasting James's integrity, but begging with him as a dad to rethink what he was doing to his child by throwing him into this degree of pressure.
We know that he's not ready yet. And I'm saying this with compassion. I'm asking the greatest player in the game, one of the top 2 players in the history of basketball, an ambassador for this game, the face of the league, a 4-time champion, a guy that's gone to 10 NBA finals, one of the greatest we have ever or will ever see, who is a basketball savant.
He added by drawing a parallel to fight lore summoning the ghost of Joe Frazier placing his boy Marvis in the ring versus Larry Holmes in a bout that everybody knew would end ugly.
You remember years ago, Dougie, when the great Larry Holmes, heavyweight champion extraordinaire, one of the greatest jabs in boxing history.
You had to beat Frazier's kid.
And Marvis Frazier went to the ring. And Larry Holmes, Molly, got interviewed before the fight. And he said, ain't no damn kid with 10 fights beating me. And he hurt the kid and had him hurt. And literally, Molly, before he punched, was waving at the referee to come stop the fight. Bow, come stop the fight. Bow, come stop the fight. Am I lying, doggy? That's exactly what Larry Holmes did. And everybody was looking at Joe Frazier, not Marvis, Joe. And we were like, what you doing? Why would you do that to your son? Do you not know who the hell this is? Well, I would say to LeBron James, do you not know who these NBA players are?
Outside the privilege argument that has trailed the kid since selection evening, there were heavy cracks growing between James and the Los Angeles franchise itself that promised to eclipse it all. The management stress and broken bonds. Past the hardwood battles and favoritism claims are real. Serious cracks have developed between LeBron James and Lakers brass that have brought fresh elements of conflict to this mix. Already messy dynamic. Previous owner Jeanie Buss quietly voiced irritation regarding LeBron's apparent absence. Of thanks when they picked Bronny 55th back in 2024, seeing it as a huge favor that merited recognition. Per ESPN's, Baxter Holmes insiders disclosed that Buss noted James ought to be thankful for this rare move, yet she sensed he wasn't voicing regret that her kindness had not been returned. This annoyance arose during talks regarding his deal renewal that summer when bargaining was already stiff. Buss allegedly viewed the selection as a peace offering to keep LeBron James glad. Despite Bronny's USC woes following cardiac arrest, she hated his huge ego and clutch sports grip on the team's choices. The bond between Buss and LeBron had rotted over many years, with the owner feeling more like she was being played by the athlete and his agents instead of operating in real alliance toward a shared aim. The split stemmed back to major structural shifts that kept LeBron feeling slighted and entirely out the loop.
And it all does stem from LeBron James, though, and his really fractured relationship at this point with the Lakers. It began, back into the summertime when Luka Doncic was notified that the team was about to sell. That was a bit of a, like an earth-shattering, like groundbreaking moment. The Lakers sold for a record-breaking evaluation at the time. And LeBron had no idea that it was coming. He obviously, his confidant, Jeanie Buss, has remained she's still like the governor of the team or something. So she's still highly involved. But the fact that LeBron was not informed about that deal prior to it being made, and the fact that Luka Doncic was, I believe that really started the rift between LeBron and organization.
Stress predated Bronny's draft and spiked after the 2021 Westbrook deal, which Buss pinned on pleasing LeBron but felt he dodged responsibility for when the trial failed quite spectacularly. She also hated James being called the team savior in 2018 and considered dealing him to the Clippers. In 2022, when ties broke, Buss sold majority stakes to Mark Walter back in June 2025, but stays team governor. LeBron denied rumors in January 2026, saying they don't irk him and refusing to fuel the drama. When asked directly about his bond with Jeanie Buss, LeBron just acknowledged there are always two sides to every tale and that views can vary.
I thought it was good, but you know, somebody can see it another way. So it's always two sides of the coin. So, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, how I represented this franchise and what I wanted to do to represent this franchise, so when I got here till now, it's been with the utmost respect and honor and dignity.
LeBron went on pointing to his loyalty to the team over the years, noting he has played for the Lakers longer than almost any other squad in his career, and that his drive should not be questioned.
And I would say loyalty, shit. I've played here longer than pretty much any other franchise I've played for, besides Cleveland. And that was a 7 and a 4.
LeBron has held the title of a coach killer throughout his career, with high changes of head coaches during his time across Cleveland, Miami, and LA, trailing him from squad to squad. In his Lakers stint since 2018-4, head coaches Luke Walton, Frank Vogel, Darvin Ham, and now JJ Redick have managed varying levels of success and talk regarding LeBron's pull over their job safety. The 2024 hiring of JJ Redick, a rookie coach, and LeBron's past podcast co-host on Mind the Game, sparked debates about LeBron's sway over staff decisions. Early rumors painted it as a LeBron hire due to their bond, but LeBron publicly stated he had no talks with the Lakers about Redick and left it to the organization to make their own choice. The chatter about what was truly happening behind the scenes with Bronny continued to spin.
It just keeps getting worse by the week for Bronny James, right? It's clear he doesn't want to be here. It's clear he'd rather, play 2K or be a streamer, but, it's like LeBron is forcing him to play.
As of January 2026, with the Lakers holding a 25-16 record, facing a tough schedule, the buyer, questions persist without clear answers. And with every missed shot, every benching, and every viral moment of frustration, the stakes continue to rise for everyone involved. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.